Four friends bought an 18-pack of Gatorade. It cost $8.96. They split the pack with the ratio 2 to 3 to 1 to 4. And that's a typo. That the should be a they. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Well, you might be noticing that they got an 18-pack, or that there's four friends. You might notice the way the ratio lines up. You might be wondering, how many Gatorade do they each get? Well, to think about that, we got to think about this ratio compared to the total. Right? Like if we want to find out how many Jen gets. Jen gets 2 compared to her friends, right? But how many does she get compared to the total? So we could look at how many bottles in total her friends would be drinking, right, if we use this ratio. So we could think about that 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4. Because this right here is a part to part. Right? All of these are parts. We want to find out what is that part to whole. What is Jen's part to the whole? Right? So to find the whole, you've got to add together all the parts. So that's where you've got this 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4. And that will equal 9. So Jen gets 2 compared to 9 of the whole. Right? Jen, and then this is all the bottles, right? So if you think about that's how many Jen would get if there's 9. But if we look at this pack, there's 18. So what could we do? Well, we could set up a proportion, right? So we can set up a proportion here to figure this out, use a missing piece. So Jen gets 2 bottles, right? And we got Jen's on the top here. We got all on the bottom. So Jen gets 2 when everyone's got 9. But this time we've got a total of 18. So how many is Jen going to get? We can think about 9 times 2 equals 18. So we have to do the same thing to the top. So 2 times 2. Jen will get 4 bottles. Jen will get 4 bottles, right? Now if we think about that, Jen's ratio is 2 to 9. When we do a part to whole. So then Ku's ratio is 3 to 9. Liz's ratio is 1 to 9 when we talk about part to whole. And Ray's ratio is 4 to 9. So then if you want to find the ratio for 18 for any of them, it'd be really easy, right? Because it's just a double right there. Right? So like we said, Jen was 4. Cool, you're going to double that one. That'll become 6. Oh, that should be a 9 there. Liz's will be 2. And Ray will get 8. Maybe after figuring out how many bottles they each get, maybe now you're wondering how much do they each pay? Well, that part to whole will help. So again, if we want to look at Jen, and Jen's part, right, she's got 2 to 9. And we want to figure out So she pays 2, Jen's part, compared to all, right, the total. So the total cost then, right, the bottom is all the total. That's another way to think of it as total. So that total cost is $8.96. So we can put $8.96 down here. And you can use it to find that missing piece. Right, so in this instance, it's kind of hard to figure out this multiplying across, right? So I might want to use a unit rate to figure that out. So the unit rate, right, is how much for 1. So if I want to find out that how much for 1, I'm going to do 2 divided by 9. Right? Which will give me 0.22. So that would be how much for 1, right? That's how many dollars she would pay for every $1. So Jen would pay 22 cents, right, for every $1. So now if you know that, you can multiply this. You can take this here and multiply by that 8.96, right? And that'll give you 1.99. So Jen's paying almost $2, right? And that makes sense because this is just a little bit less than 9. If we wanted to figure this one out for maybe not Jen, maybe we want to look at Ku. Ku's part is 3 to the total, right? So we got to think about what is his missing part. So again, you're going to want to try to find how much for 1. So I'm going to take that 3 divided by 9, which is going to give me 0.33. So he's paying 33 cents to every dollar. Right, and then you're going to multiply by that 8.96 because that's how many dollars they really had to spend in total. And that'll give you 2.95. And that makes sense because 9 is really close to this 8.96, so it makes sense it'd just be a little bit lower.